Hello, welcome to the Special Moves podcast. This is episode 72. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, everybody. We're here. Strong, resilient.
Yeah.
Everlasting.
So far, so good on the coronavirus front.
Yeah.
We'll see how it is next week.
We kind of mentioned it, didn't we, last week? And now, here we are a week later, and it's gone nuts. It's got, like, I work in the video games world, and every single one of our clients works from home now.
Yeah.
In like 1 week.
It's mad, yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, and that's
even events that are a long way off, like E3 in June.
I had EGX, Res, TwitchCon, Insomnia, the BAFTAs all cancelled, man.
All the sport is fucked. Like
You
football,
know what?
rugby, it's just
Formula
gone.
1 is cancelled this season.
Luckily, the Special Moves podcast stands strong.
Yeah.
And we've got a bonus one coming up this week as well for the patrons. So 2 podcasts this week.
Yeah.
And 2 videos on top of that as well. So if you are working at home or whatever, we got some good stuff for you to fucking shout out.
Don't worry, you guys. There's probably about an hour 40, an hour 60 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Just rewatching it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I bet you a lot of people are going to be playing games and shit, aren't they? And
oh yeah,
it's such a. I know this is bad to say, but it's such a good time for this to happen because there's so many good games. Like, I mean,
this deadly disease, yeah.
No, I mean,
well timed.
look.
I've been saying that. You know, 2 weeks self-isolation, easy for all that's coming out.
Yeah, the gamers really are rising up at this point, man. Like, I mean, we've got.
No, they're not.
No,
they're not moving anywhere, man.
yeah, like more so now than ever as well.
The most they might have to do is go to the letterbox to get the game that's just been posted to them.
Now they've got an excuse to stay home without any fucking social pressure whatsoever.
And this is what I mean. I'm relishing in it, right? Like, well, I work from home anyway, so it doesn't make a difference to me. But like it's been a week, and I guess the big thing of the week, which is keeping a lot of people occupied, even like I guess casual gamers, is like those just new Call of Duty dropping.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit of a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I've got to get this out of the way. Like, if you don't follow us on Twitter, you wouldn't have seen this. Very accurate observation from myself. But
from you?
Yeah, from me, yeah.
Okay.
About you and your accurate observations.
Okay.
So, Mike, a couple of weeks ago, it's kind of weird that it all ties into disease as well, in a way. But Mike, when he was on about Banner Saga, blah, 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 blah. Then he moves on. And I don't know what that happened. Like something happened in that time.
In my wake.
Yes. Yeah. Something happened, yeah? Talk about Division. Yeah, it's good and that, but I wish it was in New York or whatever you say.
Yeah.
Then, boom, they announce Warlords of New York or whatever it's called. That's the thing that's happening. It exists. It's tangible. You can play it right there.
Yeah.
Mike's thoughts pop out. Boom, they're there. Then he's talking about Call of Duty. Don't know why you picked to play it. There's no real reason. You just decided, Call of Duty World War II of all things. And then we were talking about Battlefield and about how the good thing was like the bigger scale thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that the story was quite cool, but the multiplayer anecdote system seems to be good. Then they just announced a massive 150 player fucking online Call of Duty for free. So if you've got anything to come this week, let us know. You know what I mean?
Not off the top of my head, no. The Oracle powers are kind of fading at the moment.
I did ask some people to put some requests in, but I don't really want to.
Yeah, immediately bastardizing the power of the Oracle, selling it off.
Untapped resource immediately in there. But just listen. All I'm saying is, let's see what you guys know this week.
Wow, I feel all kinds of pressure now. Fuck, I've got to think of something good. I've got to think of something good.
Yeah.
So there's the new Call of Duty Warzone, which we haven't played together. Have you guys played it together?
No, me and Liam not played it together.
So we haven't. So it's a battle royale game. It's free. It sort of tricked me because it said that's 20 gigabytes. Cool, download it. It says 20 gigabytes. 20 gigabytes later, it says nice one, mate. Just 100 gigabytes to go.
Yep.
So it's a pretty big fucking download.
That's for the training map only.
Yeah, which is a bit of a piss take.
20 gig for the training map is silly, isn't it? But it's 150 player battle royale as opposed to like your standard's about 100, but then Apex Legends was 60.
Yeah.
And it's a bit bigger than it's not like Blackout, is it? It's got a bit more to it than that, I think.
Yeah,
you've got these different systems and stuff like that. But
so this isn't the first Call of Duty Battle Royale because they've done, like you just said, they've done Blackout before, which was on Black Ops 4.
It was one of the modes in that, which was the online only Call of Duty, if you remember.
Which we played a bit, didn't we?
Yeah, we actually. Do you know what as well? Yeah, we didn't even play it together. Well, no, we didn't play it together. We were here, like taking it in turns, and there's this one game where someone SWAT team through a window and just absolutely fucking Rainbow Sixed us.
Yeah.
And I remember that still. That was a funny memory because I've been playing Warzone, and I was talking to my sister-in-law about it yesterday, who came to visit, and I was kind of saying that my problem with Warzone so far is that it's so fast-paced. I don't have much time to create these like little funny moments that I look back at in my head. Like that, I remember from Blackout. But with this, it's like the game, like the pre-match, there's a pre-match lobby. You jump out of a plane, you're shooting people. I got into a car. Oh, whoa, I'm in a buggy for like 8 seconds. Then I jump out of a plane, and I'm paired up with some strangers because you can play it solo or team-based. And I don't know these people, but something in me makes me think, right, well, while I'm here with Swanee 1996 and Exotic HDR, I'll be beholden to our team, and I'll work with them. So our squad leader, whoever it is, picks the prison. Let's jump into the prison. I don't know these people, but I feel like a loyalty to fight by their side. I think I am the intended audience for the system of teamwork that they've implemented. However, as soon as that happens, one of them fucks off. So all of a sudden, it's me and the team leader guy.
Yeah.
So he jumps off, and I follow him into the battle. I think, well, it's a team-based game. Let's work as a team. He immediately fucking... Like, if I get shot down, he'll just ignore me. Fuck him. What an anecdote that is.
There is something about the speed of the game in Call of Duty, the time to kill and stuff, and the speed of movement and everything that just lends itself to being a selfish arsehole. It just lends itself to being a fucking cowboy and doing whatever you want to do.
It's the same in the normal multiplayer. People
learn
toxic
as
a lot.
fuck. It is basically
so when you so you're not as dependent on the other people around you, like you are in Battlefield, because maybe you don't move quite as fast in Battlefield. Maybe the guns aren't quite as accurate and snappy. So you know that working as a team is a lot more important in Battlefield. Yeah, and that's an intentional thing.
This is the whole thing. Like, this is what I was I was moaning about this, saying that I don't know if it's the meta of like just assuming everyone that plays Call of Duty and is level like 150 on it is just a knob.
Yeah.
Or the fact that, you're right, like, everybody's kind of got the Rambo effect. Like, I played a lot of Apex Legends. I was pretty good at it by the end. If anyone was ever an Octane, that's the guy that's got robotic legs and can run fast, you immediately know they're an arsehole. Yeah. Anyone here is listening playing Octane, I'm sorry to break it to you. Right? So, arseholes, like Octane, they run around really fast, and they're off. And even if they're a good team player, they're the type of team player that's like, I'm on your team, but give me a second. I just need to leave that building over there. Now, I'll go over there because I'm faster than you, see? And then you're like, all right, there's the Octane. And if they get shot down the foot. But with this, I was like, I had this everybody's an enemy mentality, and it kind of just put me in a bad mood and pissed me off. But, Liam, you've been playing it, and you're having a lot better time than me.
I've been liking it so far. Yeah. I think I've played 10 or so matches so far. And I usually place in the top 20. I've won one match.
That's cool, yeah.
And but I've been liking it. But I do like the Modern Warfare game as a whole anyway. Like the campaign, the multiplayer. I'm into it, so I immediately feel at home in this big Warzone mode.
Yeah.
Like, I know what the weapons are like, because I've pretty much used them all in the regular multiplayer and the campaign, so I know, like, what the feel of the weapons I like, what ones I should go for, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How they handle, how recoil is and all that. But like, I've been liking it quite a bit so far.
The gun thing is a bit of a problem for me, because, like, they're all kind of tiered, like in Fortnite or whatever, where you can get, like, a gold gun, and you assume that that's the best one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I said gold gun, which... In Call of Duty, you can actually get gold guns, can't you? It's like an orange tier gun.
Like loot tiers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, like, you get them, and then, like, they don't really mean anything to me. I'm not, like, a massive, like, gun head. I don't know. I know what a SCAR is, I know that, and, like, I know, like, some of the classics, like M4 or whatever, M16. When I'm picking up, like, a NATO H or whatever the fuck it is, I don't know what the fuck any of this shit is.
That's the other thing with the Modern Warfare, like, setting as well, which is totally true, where all the guns are fucking really good. And they're very, there's minute changes between.
Yeah, it's things like it'll be like the natural iron sights will be better on one gun or not, the recoil pattern and magazine size. But it's like when you're scrambling on the floor, like Felma, who's lost the glasses. That's what I feel like when I play these games. I'm just like on the floor, like trying to pick stuff up.
Yeah.
But confusingly, with this half of the things pick themselves up, so I don't know. So I'm just mashing square, sometimes for no reason.
You got to hold it, do you not?
Yeah, exactly.
To open doors, you have to hold it and stuff.
I
but
think
then
you've got to hold it to pick the weapons.
Some things.
to pick up weapons, but then if you just you can walk over ammo and stuff, and it'll auto collect
cash. Right. So it's cash, it's like there's a lot of things there, and it's just I'm not familiar with the map. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the guns, the style, and I just feel like
the map is pretty much like it's all the multiplayer maps just sort of bolted together into like one big area.
Again, so it's kind of a good precursor. Modern Warfare. I mean, it's big help for people because you are getting put in with these people at like level 100, and it's cross-play enabled, which is again a cool thing that everyone can play together. You've got friends on Xbox or PC or whatever. But I turned it off because
PC cross-plays with PS4?
I'm pretty sure
only if they use controller.
I was going to say, Jesus.
Yeah,
but then there's some people who they've got like a program that can emulate mouse and keyboard as a controller.
PC gamers, man.
This is what I mean.
Give it a fucking rest.
This is what I mean. So I've turned crossplay off because
calm down.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to die to a guy who's got like 6 uppercase and 6 lowercase characters in his name. Yeah. And
he's got more buttons on his mouse than I have on my fucking keyboard.
And he's always in HD. His username is always HD. Yeah. So that's my time on Call of Duty Warzone so far. But we will do a video about it where we can talk a bit more specific. But that's what I feel about it. But you've had a little spin.
Yeah, it gave me an headache.
So far, where does it rank in the Battle Royale tier list? All right. So for me, at the moment,
which is now quite a long list. Actually.
Yeah. It's worthy of a list. Yeah. It's not just 5 things.
Yeah. So what's at the top then?
Well, for me, it's Apex Legends. No questions asked because it's got that hero shooting element. But I don't know what the general consensus is. Fortnite. Maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Probably. I don't like Fortnite that much. Yeah. I know what you mean. I'd say, for me, it's quite high. It might be tied with Apex, actually, at the top. Because I've been playing Call of Duty for years and years anyway. So I just sort of feel at home with this one. Yeah. And I think I first said to you guys when I gave it a go, I was like, straight away, I feel like I've got a good chance at this. Unlike Apex, where my skill level is not nearly as high as the other people playing it. Whereas this one, I feel like more leveled out with everyone. Yeah. So I feel like I've got a better chance, which leads to me having a better chance at victory, getting more kills, which means I enjoy it more because I'm not constantly getting battered by everyone.
Do you know what as well? This is something that I've been finding that doesn't actually apply to as many things as you'd think, right? Because what I'm going to say now sounds obvious, but it's not. These types of games, the amount of fun you're having is a direct result of how good you are at it. Whereas that's not always the case with games. Sometimes you can be quite bad and still have a laugh. If you're playing a campaign of Call of Duty and you die loads, you can still have a nice time. You want to take it in, the games that I play, especially recently, I die a lot on them. That's the nature of the game, isn't it? Nioh 2, I've been playing loads, and all the Souls games. I'm not very good at Bloodborne, right? I'm just not good at it. I die on it loads more than all the others, and I still have a nice time. But the amount of downtime for all the uptime just doesn't seem to...
No. There's a lot of running.
There's a lot of waiting in lobbies, jumping out of planes, being in a gulag, and loading screens if you're not very good at the game. If you're not very good at the regular Modern Warfare mode, Team Deathmatch, let's say, you die, you're back. You die, you're back. Yeah. It's a 4-minute wait between deaths.
True,
and so if you're not good at it,
I think that's the big problem I have just battle royales in general. How much downtime there is.
Yeah.
Because you might drop into a match and have half an hour of nothing, and then get killed in 10 seconds. So that's your half hour with nothing.
If I was to describe PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds in its kind of my original kind of experience with it, that's what it was. Even though I kind of enjoyed the tension and stuff at first because it was so fresh, so novel. It's just we were playing in a squad and it was hiding in buildings and shit and setting up and watching windows,
suppressor for your gun.
It was still ultimately we would run around, loot, see someone, not shoot them, carry on going because they were too far away. Carry on going. The circle would get smaller and smaller and smaller. Get to a certain point and we'd all kind of die. Maybe one of us would survive for a couple of minutes extra, but that's the average kind of game, right?
Yeah.
But I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
Because the freshness and the tension and the working as a team is what made it good. So a lot of things that have followed have been kind of like pale imitations of trying to do that. Apex for me nailed doing something a little bit different because there was 3 of us. It was faster. It was like it's a slightly different experience to what PUBG was.
Yeah. I love the differentiation between character skills.
Totally,
and stuff.
the skills totally helped that a lot.
Yeah,
you felt like you were contributing something solid.
And I feel like they knew that no one would give a shit, so they had to really make a map that was like really archetypal. Like we used to land in a swamp.
Yeah,
you can remember that.
Yeah,
because it's a swamp.
Yeah,
but like with this, there's some really really like easy to spot buildings. There's like
there's a big stadium in the middle.
Yeah, and there's like a Fort Boyardee looking prison, but then otherwise
there's a quarry and stuff like that.
Yeah, the diamond quarry, like kind of blackout style things, but then otherwise. And like that. Remember the first PUBG map? That's depressing when you think back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Battle Royales, man, it's still kicking off, and this is it's doing the numbers as well. I want to see
15 million, I think, was the last report.
Yeah,
number.
so on Twitch there was like 18 million hours watched this week, which is the second highest watched thing of the week. The first is, as usual, League of Legends. But considering the game only came out on Wednesday, and realistically. Thursdays when most people played it because of the 100 gig download.
Yeah.
Let's see how fast it drops off, or will it continue to rise up?
Because they are, like you're saying, they are doing well, but there is like a fucking boom and bust thing with them, like big style at the moment. Because Apex was a big boom and bust, wasn't it? Because Apex was fucking huge. It was massive. Like if you compared where it was compared with where Fortnite was originally and stuff like that. It compared very favourably.
Toe to toe, wasn't it? With
it was just rocketing up, and then but it just really quickly fell off.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to know which way this one's going to go, I reckon.
I think this one might have some legs to it, apart from, when Call of Duty 2020 comes out in November or whatever. We'll see what happens then.
Yeah.
Because I remember not many people stuck around for Blackout as soon as Modern Warfare came out.
Well, that's it. It's a one-in, one-out system with these fuckers, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, let's keep an eye on it. But, of course, everyone listening, well, not the Audio Master Race, but the YouTubers, you guys will be probably aware of it. Let us know what you think. Everyone's got an opinion on Battle Royale. Everyone's got an opinion on Call of Duty. So, by that metric, and the fact that this costs you nothing apart from 100 gig of your time and data, let us know what you think.
Oh, you got to log in as well, create an account.
Yeah.
That felt costly to me, because I was like, what? You want me to type my email address in, create a password? I mean,
what is this?
I've already fucking signed into my PlayStation. I hate going through like account stuff in games, especially on my console.
I remember doing it once for like Ubisoft, and then like, luckily it remembers your PlayStation account.
Exactly.
So you don't have to do it again. And it's the same with this. To be fair, I have to make an Activision account for the Modern Warfare beta,
right?
And now it remembers me,
right.
So I don't have to fight for a username or whatever.
So if you've been playing it, send us an email. It's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. Send us an email if you're listening and or watching, and we'll have a read.
Yeah.
This is an email.
About this.
Yeah.
Now this.
No, this. This is from Ahmed in Michigan, who says, Dear Special Moves, I went into the original Nioh with all my experience playing the Soulsborne games in mind. But after 40 hours, I decided this game is not for me. I am not looking forward to Nioh. I am not looking forward to Nioh 2 at all. In the Soulsborne games, I'm exploring a world, and the items I find along the way are unique. I wouldn't be able to rerun a level to try and find another Great Sword of Artorias with better stats. Where Nioh feels more like Diablo 3 in adventure mode, playing the same levels multiple times, searching for better gear. I really try to like it. I guess this style works for many people, but not me. Regards, Ahmed. Ended on a regards there.
Yeah.
Because it's a stinging email. But you guys have been playing Nioh
Not
2.
even a kind regards.
Right,
Ahmed, we didn't develop it.
Thanks for the email, Ahmed. So what do you guys make of that, and what do you make of Nioh 2, which you've been playing quite a bit?
Well, it's quite a common complaint about Nioh, that like the loot spam is a thing not a lot of people are a big fan of, because, it can get a bit boring having to, go through menus after menus.
It's a bit jarring, I think, in comparison to, because it's so similar to Soulsborne in other ways. that when you you get a big samurai helmet, you go, oh, cool, it's a big fucking samurai helmet. But then, sort of 20 minutes later, you pick up another big samurai helmet, and you go, oh, this is what's got a slightly better stat.
Yeah,
oh, which one?
It's got a 1% increase to your key recovery.
But also, it makes you less resistant to paralysis.
So which one do I need to? So you're sweating over stats.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to. I don't care about any of this.
This guy's a loose cannon.
Well, this is what I was saying about playing the same
cowboys here.
Playing the same level over and over again to get the best spear. Nah, I'm not playing a level again at all. Like, I'm doing it, and that's it. If I've got a good spear, how am I going to get another good spear? Just play the next level. You'll eventually get a good spear, right?
Yeah.
You don't it's not a game that relies on proper maxing out stats. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
It's not.
Yeah, you don't have to min-max or anything.
Yeah, and if you don't just do the main missions, if you do the main missions and the side missions, you're over-leveled by halfway through the game. It's the same with this second game, so we'll talk about that in a minute because, it's a separate thing. But Nioh 1 specifically, don't overthink it. I know it wants you to because it's trying to make a big deal out of this shit, but just forget about it. Just focus on how much the equipment weighs, like in Souls. Like if you want to do really good dodge rolling, medium or heavy, so make a build around that, and then maybe you've got an accessory that's got fire defense if you're fighting a fire enemy. But other than that, I wouldn't sweat it because it's just one of these overcomplicated systems that they've made to try and use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
We're not just a Souls game, guys, but it's
Look how complex it is.
But is it the same as in Dark Souls and Bloodborne where you get a starting weapon and you could theoretically play the whole game with that?
Technically,
you can.
Because you start out in Nioh, and Nioh 2, gear is tiered in loot, so you've got uncommon, common, rare, legendary, all that.
Yeah.
So you start out just in a white common weapon, but in theory, there's a thing called soul match in it where you can take a weapon. So if you're really attached to your starting weapon, but you want to level it up for later in the game,
which is a thing you can do. That's how you do it. And
it distills the power of
so
this.
You choose a bit of higher level loot, and you can fuse them together, and it'll.
And even more confusing. Imagine that you don't want to do that. You want to have your new weapon, but you want your new weapon to look exactly like your old weapon, because you're a fashionable individual. You can do that. You can make it just look like
remodel weapons.
Yeah, so you can. So no one.
How's that though? It's got to be the same class of thing, surely.
Well, one's refashioning it and one's soul matching or whatever. So
refashioning. So if you have a sword and you pick up a big fucking heavy axe and you're like, actually though, I would rather it look like the sword.
No, I think it has to be in the same
type.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So it's got to be the same.
I use hatchets in Nioh 2, specifically ninja hatchets or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to
add ninja, just add ninja.
it's like ninja or barbarian or something.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, if I wanted to keep my hatchets, I couldn't fuse it with I could soul match it with an axe if I wanted to bump the level of that item up. But if I wanted to change the appearance to a different type of hatchet, I'd have to use that equivalent.
I really need to comment here that this is a very inaccessible introduction to the world of Nioh.
Well, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Or you can just keep playing the game and eventually.
Nioh is just systems on top of systems on top of systems.
This is how I played Nioh, right? And it's worked for me. Right, start the game, beat about 50 enemies, open a menu. Oh, new item alert, and it literally has a little exclamation mark. Right, I've got a helmet that's got 50 defense. Scroll up to the top. Oh, there's one with 62 defense there. All right, it's really heavy. That explains that. Right, fine. Another 50 enemies in. Oh, I found one. I'll go for that. That's all I do. I don't care about any of this.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. End of a mission, I go through whatever gear I've acquired, see if there's anything I deem an upgrade, equip it. And anything else,
you can press a simple button to sort it. By the way, so you can sort it by defense, so you don't have to literally scroll through, right?
Yeah.
And then
there's no question that is different to Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Oh yeah,
that's
100%.
Very different.
But replaying a level, I think, is a very odd grind that is unnecessary.
But there are Twilight missions in the game, which are the same levels but nighttime or
100%
with tougher enemies.
Yeah. If you're replaying the same mission, don't. Because you won't get much
maybe that's
benefit.
what it is. Maybe
if you're doing a level reskin, so that's gonna I guess lead us into Nioh 2 if you
Yeah,
want.
no, exactly. So Nioh 2 came out last week, yeah?
Yeah, it came out on Friday.
Friday just gone.
Shouts out to Sony. They fucking gave us a code.
So
Sony gave us a code. Us. You know what I mean? That's fucking good.
That established.
Yeah, man. I was excited because it's like notoriously hard to get a code from Sony, and we're just a podcast, so whatever. Right, and we're not going to offer like 50 videos of Fetch Your Life fucking Wikipedia.
Certainly not.
You know what I mean?
Certainly
You're going to get
not.
this, and you're probably going to get a video that's going to get about 1,000 views. So
Yeah.
fucking shouts out to Sony. They gave us a code, and then I've been looking
It's
forward.
1,000 quality views, though, isn't it? It's 1,000 views.
Each of those views is a
Yeah,
lot higher.
but you know what? Yeah,
With
let me
very nice
let me
comments
tell you
and
something.
emails.
Let me tell you something. Right, my job is that, isn't it? My job is giving out keys
Yeah.
to content creators or whatever, YouTubers, streamers, and whatever. And then when I'm doing my coverage report, I'll click on like their fucking video. You know, I go on. I'll fucking name drop me. I'm not afraid. I go on Rad Brad's channel. Yeah, he's got like millions of views, and I look at the comments. And they're all just like, "This game is shit. This game is shit." Go in a comment section of like a smaller channel. Go in their comments and it's like, "Bellissimo, this game is beautiful, fantastic. You're a great channel." And I know what time I have a nice time with. So when I go through our comments and they're all nice, I'm like,
But they also
I have a nice-
share stories and they give their own opinion and they have a conversation about it. And
That's what I
they
mean.
very rarely just go, "Looks great."
yeah, exactly.
you know what I mean? They
Exactly.
very rarely
Yeah,
do that.
everyone's got an opinion in our comment section, and even if it's a bit of a moan, like at least they like properly go into detail.
Yeah.
They're not little bitches about it. They're like, "I don't like this game because." So yeah, I like hanging about in the comment section, and like other small channels that have nice comment sections like that, fucking well better, innit? So fuck all that. Anyway,
Anyway, let's talk about Nioh 2.
Nioh 2, right?
So Nioh 2, we've been talking about fucking items and stat boosts and all this and fucking reforging and what did you
Soul matching.
Do you know what I mean? We've said
Could be a
soul
dating
matching
service
before
for all
actually.
you know,
yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. A dating app for jazz musicians in New York.
So much.
Right, so what do you want to know about it? Do you want the
We haven't
elevator
actually
pitch?
explained what kind of game it is. We've said Soulsborne a few times, but you know,
Right,
what's Nioh 2?
Right, Nioh 2 is a samurai-themed, self-proclaimed massacre game, but
Fucking
really,
hilarious.
really, it's a Souls-like.
Yeah.
Based in
Feudal Japan?
Feudal Japan. It's confusing because this one is a prequel to the first one, set a good couple of years before. But yeah, still in the same era, same characters to some degree. And it focuses on like the battle between realms, different empires, interpersonal battles. But the big kind of thing is yokai are in it. So yokai is like the Japanese mythology or folklore aspect of like ghosts. So it's like a big thing. If you've got kids or you're a child at heart, you might know Level 5's Yokai Watch. That's a good show, right? And it's funny to see like big, scary, spooky versions of the yokai. So yeah, you're fighting these demons and monsters, and then you're also fighting like enemies, different clans and shit.
Yeah, your standard bandits and
Yeah,
foot soldiers. And
Yeah,
stuff like
exactly. And all this is going on in missions and levels. So it's kind of like, it reminds me of Tenchu, how this is. Like, it's not an open world like Souls, which is like the big thing, and it's not an interconnected world with different levels and this. It's missions. You're jumping into a mission.
Literally a menu where you choose which level you want to
You're
do.
on a world map at this point.
Yeah.
And you jump into a level. It's a big, and you know they try and do it. They've got a heavy reliance on like shortcuts.
Yeah.
So you've got bonfires in it, but they're not called bonfires. They're shrines, and you pray at the shrine, and that resets your healing items, and it also resets the enemy placement. If you've killed an enemy, they'll come back to life. Mm-hmm. And then you make your way through the level, and then you might unlock a shortcut then, which is normally literally a giant wooden gate.
Yeah.
So
Quite a lot of the time, the shortcuts can just like let you skip through most of the level as well.
Yeah.
If they just like face you with a giant powerful enemy, but if you beat that enemy, you can skip most of the level.
I found that. So yeah, like that's the thing with Nioh 2. So this is the second Nioh game, right? The first one is 3 years old, and it's not that different in level design, enemy design. Loads of the enemies are from the first game, right?
Yeah.
Like genuinely about 60-70% of the enemies
Really?
are from the first game. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is I don't know. It makes me feel familiar playing it. Like I like it because I'm like, all right, I remember this guy. I remember how to be, But yeah, all like the big thing with these games is the bosses, right? This is like the big focus of these games. Yeah. Well, it's not, is it? In Dark Souls, it's not really. It's about the world and the story. But the big thing, everyone who imitates misses the point. And they're like, people love Dark Souls because they love bosses. So let's put all the focus on bosses. So this is a game where the boss battles are like the main event, right? Mm-hmm. Like the beta came out. There was like a private one, a public one. And all anyone was talking about was the boss battles. The boss battles, the boss battles, the boss battles. So, yeah, that's basically Nioh 2. It's a game where it's like level-based, boss battle-based. And yeah, there's really deep systems. The combats have been pushed on a lot, right? And you're using...
I'm using hatchets this time round.
And I'm using a spear. So me and Liam have probably played it completely differently than each other, right? But the system's so deep. Like, the skill trees... for yourself, there's skill trees for your weapons. Mm-hmm. There's different stances for your weapons. You can turn into a demon because the crux of the story is that you are half yokai. So you are like battling with your inner demon. God, I didn't
quite literally.
I didn't realize how bad that was until I said it out loud. But yeah, that really is it. And you are in a very like, I don't know, man, in a very anime way. The basic plot is you're half demon that needs to find the shards or stones of an immortal blade that can cut down and end a yokai. Like you can sever and kill demons in one hit. And I'm assuming, like I'm halfway through the game, it hasn't told you like what for, but I'm assuming it's to kill the 3-pupiled demon that killed your mum at the very, very beginning of the game. I don't want to say anything else, but basically it's like a fetch quest. You know, you're going around the land to collect these things.
You team up with a character, go on a journey.
Yeah, you team. That's the thing with the game that the first one didn't have. You team up. You are you. You're not a preset character. Mm-hmm. Like in the first game, you were a Western samurai called William.
Oh, so you don't play as William?
It's a create your own character.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. I wonder why they did that.
Well, because William wasn't half a demon, and the story revolves around it so much that they couldn't have done.
But I mean, why didn't they choose a different preset character? What do you know what I mean?
I think it's one of the big requests with these games. Like
it's important, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, for me, it wasn't. I just picked preset 1 and press go because by my mentality, same with Bloodborne, innit? Like, who gives a fuck? Because you're wearing a hat and the camera's behind you.
Yeah.
No one cares, especially in Dark Souls when you've got a full face helmet on.
Yeah.
Like I play heavy builds all the time, so I've got full armor.
I'm sure the developers listening to this will be like, oh, he doesn't even care about the items. He just picks the one with the best stats, and then he doesn't even make his own character. He just fucking.
Ask me if I'm enjoying it.
Shoot from the hip. Are you enjoying it?
Yes, a lot. It's very tough though. Liam and me are playing it. Well, we've been playing it a lot, right?
Yeah, pretty much any free moment I get, I've been on it.
And I think Liam's about a third of the way through, I'm about half of the way through, but I've put in about 20 hours, 25 hours maybe, a lot of time into it, and it's quite long. Like, I've beaten Sekiro in this time. So, like, my first playthrough of Sekiro, I was done in less than 25 hours. This, I'm I'm just about halfway through.
Yeah, it's a lot of content in this game.
There's a lot to it. So it's
Is it good, though?
Yeah.
Is it a lot of good stuff?
The levels can be a bit samey, but the moment-to-moment combat stuff is gripping.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. The levels are great the first time you do them, but then the submissions a lot of the time are either, hey, and this is literally an example. Hey, my I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you this, but I dropped my spear the previous level. Would you mind going to collect my spear?
Well, this is what Ahmed was talking about. Just kind of going back to the same.
If you meant the same map, then but I felt like Ahmed was saying like literally going back to the same level to get new loot. And if that's not what Ahmed meant, then sorry, Ahmed. But it's that, but you're coming at it from a different side. So it's the same map, but you're playing a previous side of it, and it's nighttime, not daytime anymore, and the monsters are different. But the map is the same map, right? You might see a different side of it. Or if there's an exclusive map just for a side mission, you can tell.
Yeah.
Because
it's shit.
It's a forest it's normally like a battle arena covered in thorns, and it's just like, oh, all right, that's it. But like the first time you go into a new map, it's exciting. It reminds me of Tenchu, like I tell you, because Tenchu was like that. You played as Ayame or Rikimaru, and it was the same map. You just come at it from one was daytime, one was nighttime, one side or the other, different maps, and so like map 1 would be level 1 for Rikimaru, but map 1 might have been level 3 for Ayame, so it was higher enemy placement. It's like that though. You can do a side mission to go back to that level.
Yeah.
It's the very Tenchu school of
quite a lot of like the submissions are. It'll put you in like one of the main story maps, but just in reverse and stuff like that. And they might set things on fire when things weren't on fire.
Yeah.
And change the enemy placement, the enemy type, stuff like that.
Right. But that's the kind of thing. So it's kind of like the first time you go to a map, it's really cool and you're taking it all in. But at the same time, you're like thinking, all right, I'm gonna get familiar with this because I'm gonna go back to it again if I want to do a side mission. So that led me to like not do the side missions. Like I'm on the 4th region now, so like world number 4 if you're talking like old school video game terminology. Like I'm on the 4th world, and I thought, oh fuck these side missions, I want to try and burn through it. So I've done as much as I can for the podcast. But now I found myself like, the bad guys are really smashing me. Like they're really levering me here, and I wish I did some side missions which were mundane, but they give me the power so I can enjoy myself through the main missions. I'm not really over leveled. I'm just the right balance. But now I feel like I'm under leveled and I'm getting smashed to death.
Yeah.
So it's I've not been finding it very difficult until like the last day or so, where I'm like summoning allies to help me. You can constantly summon allies. That's the good thing about the game. Like, it's
That'll
not
be other players or
NPCs.
Yeah,
but
it's
there's
like
loads.
the ghosts of other players. Like,
cool.
You know,
So
like
have
racing
their
game.
kit,
Like racing games have their like AI ghost data or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
And like Mike
From
says,
benevolent graves.
that's
called.
exactly it. And they've got but you can actually summon players.
Yeah.
You can play the whole
yeah.
game co-op, which is really cool.
Yeah, expeditions, right?
Yeah, I love that, but we'll never do it. Like as far as I know, you can play like the majority of Bloodborne co-op as well, but it's like
it's a bit tricky.
It is, and if one of you, because it's never truly co-op, because one of you is like a visit in spirit or whatever.
Yeah.
So like this is like that. Like
games are so fucking. It's like it's another player in it, but then they get because you just have to give it that. Well, what we're gonna call them? Just visiting spirits or something. I don't know.
Peter Molyneux, school foot.
Exactly.
But like I feel like
just come clean and say the other fucking player in it. Just don't
player
worry
2.
about player 2.
It's like this is it's easier in that sense. The bosses are tougher than in the first game so far, I found, but like I feel like I've either looked out and got good equipment maybe early on by killing the enemy spirits, or because of these benevolent graves, I've got like AI companions that are making it a bit of a breeze.
Right.
So like I found it really quite easy, didn't struggle with it at all until now. My balance has thrown way off, and I found that that's because I've been skimping out on the fucking side missions. So
You do feel even though you do feel maybe you need to go back and do
unnecessary evil.
Yeah.
So even though they're boring and the maps aren't very well thought out, and it is kind of like reskin.
Yeah.
Basically, it is a reskin. I feel like my advice, if you're thinking of getting it, but you're worried about it being brutal and difficult, the 2 simple bits of advice is: 1, use the benevolent graves; 2, do the side missions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For me, I do want to play it. Like I do want to play it, but I haven't finished Nioh 1, and I think the less that there is going on, the more interested I am in it. And the Bloodborne, there's just less for you to think about than there is in Dark Souls. You've got more like you're just picking up more items in Dark Souls. There's more armor and stuff, and all the enemies are dropping you. Like so, there's a little bit of. I think there's a bit more complexity to the general, the depth and the systems in Dark Souls than there is in Bloodborne. I think.
Yeah.
You can be more. There's much bigger spectrum of like.
Yeah.
A heavy or a quick or a kind of or magic or whatever. In Bloodborne, it's just you got a sharp thing and a gun.
Yeah.
So then Nioh is further again than Dark Souls in terms of like which stance are you in and what items are you picking up. So there's just a bit more like gameplay wise going on, and that's slightly not the difficulty, not the actual difficulty curve. Like you're saying, it's a tough game.
Yeah.
It's more like the having more things to keep track of.
Yeah, I feel like it's in an odd place because it's like I don't know who it's impressing with the systems on top of systems.
Yeah,
on top of systems.
yeah.
I feel it's like again I'm sure they'd be really offended, the developers, because they made Ninja Gaiden, if you said anyone that's trying to imitate Dark Souls misses the point, and no one misses the point more than Nioh because they focus too much on the boss fights and the complexity of Dark Souls, which are there in the series, but not the main event.
No, yeah.
But at the same time, then Nioh is the best non-Dark Souls game, and Nioh 2 is just a continuation on this. If you like Nioh 1, this is like essential. It's perfect for fans of Nioh 1 because it's the same but more. Everything's more fleshed out. It's deeper. It feels fairer, but it feels more challenging. At the same time, they've struck a real balance. But for somebody on the outside or somebody that's maybe dipped their toe in the first Nioh game like you, it's just I can see why it seems unappealing.
Yeah.
It's not unnecessarily complex with its systems. I think it's unnecessarily complex with its armor systems though. But all's forgiven when the adrenaline's pumping because you've just beaten a giant fucking owl or whatever the fuck. The game is good. The game is very fucking good, but I couldn't recommend it for everybody. And like, one thing that surprises me is how many people were put off by Sekiro, which I think isn't unappealing at all, really.
Sekiro's fucking good.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone says they were put off by the difficulty. I'm like, no, just go in for it. With this, I'd be like, all right.
Sekiro is the same as Bloodborne for me, and it has a purity about.
Even
it knows
more so.
what it is.
Yep.
You've only got one fucking sword.
There's only one.
There's only one.
Ichimonji.
Liam, give me a closing thought on Nioh 2, and then we'll do some emails.
I really like Nioh 2. What I've played of it so far, I think I'm a bit less than Jake, probably about 15 or so hours, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm having a really good time. I've been doing the side missions. I've not hit any brick walls or anything yet in terms of difficulty. Yeah. I feel like
Jake's just like, just you wait, mate.
Yeah. I'm genuinely looking forward to it. It's a win-win for me. I'm either proud of my boy because he's beat the boss that I was struggling with first time,
right,
or we can make a little support group.
Or it could just be a difference in play styles.
Like, which is pretty much always the case, I reckon.
That's what I'm excited
because I've gone for the really fast and nimble type, which might favour that boss a bit more.
And it's slow lumbering buffoon.
Well, but I think it also goes to beyond. It's just what you're in a split second, what your reaction tends to be, and in Bloodborne, it's perfect for me because my reaction is always get the fuck out of the way, right? So that's in the split second decision making is different for all of us, right? So your split second decision
hold
making
fast,
exactly. Yeah, so we'll all have like different, instincts, And
Mind
so
you run and batter it.
Yeah. and ultimately, I think that's kind of the beauty of Nioh 2, and so I'm having fun with it now. But the reason I don't feel like complete about it yet because I haven't spoken to someone else who's going through it all and playing it with you, and I think that's half of the fun with these games.
Yeah,
seeing other people's opinions and shit. So
I'd recommend it to Souls-like fans, and I'd say if you're worried about like getting spammed by loot and stuff, just like Jake said before, don't overthink it. Yeah. Just like see what has a better defense, and then just
put a hat on. Get a sword in your hand.
And then all the other items, just send them off to the little Kadamas. They'll give you rewards in return.
Okay, let's do a couple of emails then. Remember, send us an email. It's dsspecialmoves@gmail.com. This one is from Samuel Colin Kenneth Harton.
No.
Or Sam, for short.
That's a good name.
Dear Special Moves, my name is Sam. I'm from Leeds. Just like to say I've watched you since the Pretty Good Gaming days and love your channel and consistently deliver excellent gaming content. Nice one, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
You've shown me some excellent games over the years and want to thank you for the hours of joy you've given me, which is also another compliment. Thanks again, Sam.
That sounds good, yeah.
I work as a sports trader, calculating bets, manual cash outs, etc. I don't know what that is.
I don't doubt you for
cool.
a second, Sam.
That's very cool.
Yep.
And I love sports games.
Yep.
I would like to know what sports games, if any, you have played over the years and enjoyed, and if you're into any sports, ? That's probably the first question that you need to ask, I reckon. I've heard you mention rugby and boxing previously. Thanks again, guys. Yeah. Samuel Collin, Kenneth Harton.
All right, well, I actually feel like I'm halfway there, maybe. I don't know. Well, so skate doesn't count, right?
Skate does count. I reckon.
Skateboarding, is that a sport?
Nah, but
it's not a sport you can put a bet on. Skate is the best.
Not in like the Olympic sense, but
I can't stress this enough. Yeah, it's a bit of a fucking meme now about Skate 4, right? It's like all over Twitter. People, I was a diehard Skate fan since the fucking. I always remember. I bring it up in the podcast all the time, right? I always remember all my mates got Burnout Paradise apart from me who got Skate 2. And I was on an Xbox party chat. I've never felt more like a fucking peasant than they were all shitting on me. 2 weeks later, we're all playing Skate 2 together. Weren't we? Little pricks.
So you've always been a hipster then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Skate 2 was fucking ace. And I loved that era of EA sports games. I even played FIFA then.
Did you play the boxing one?
Fucking Fight Night, mate. Yeah. Yes.
That was like not a launch. Well, I don't know if it was a launch title, but it was an early 360 title.
Ones, yeah.
It's fucking well fun that because that was like when EA really had this cool idea where it was like, let's put every single fucking sports game onto the Xbox 360 and make it all where you have to use the joysticks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Skate, do you want to do an ollie, mate? You have to wiggle from the south to the north of your right thumbstick. You want to do a fucking left hook to the body, Mexican style. Yeah. What you want to do, mate, is hold A. It's constantly.
PS2 was great for that. There's loads of games of using just analog sticks.
It was full of that, wasn't it? Yeah. And that was
the King was Ape Escape, though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, mate.
That was the original.
Now they knew how to use some joysticks, but yeah, the fucking EA school of two thumbsticks and some good graphics.
Because it was in they brought it into like football, so you'd do like tricks and shit in NFL games where you'd like dodge and like try and smash through them or whatever.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of sports games. I played a lot of FIFA and I played a lot of like when I was a teenager really, and a lot of like NFL, and I loved like the street games, like the NFL Street. FIFA Street was alright.
Was cool, yeah.
NFL Street, I played loads for some reason, and I fucking loved it. It was really, really.
Were
really
they
good.
actually on the street, like?
They were on
like
the beach and stuff like
and
that.
Oh,
in the
of course they were. Yeah,
like alleys.
You know, it was good. It was better than normal.
Football alley, like the Room. Tommy was there in a suit for a football.
The street games were good because they were like. You know, it was like the distilled what's good about it. You know,
super casual, super sugary. I know what you mean.
And the customization went as far as what does the guy look like? You know, I think there were some vague like strengths and weaknesses type.
There was
stuff.
it was like arcadey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like FIFA's like it's the powerhouse, isn't it? It's like a good common ground. Like if you I don't know, you go around to someone's house.
Kids are smashing it, aren't they?
Kids love FIFA, yeah. The packs thing and all that. Like I've completely avoided all of that.
Yeah.
I don't think I think I owned one FIFA and it was on the 360. But otherwise, yeah, you go around to your mate's house and you put a bit of FIFA on. It's just because it's like that Tekken or Mortal Kombat thing. It's just a game that you can pick up, you chuck on, and you can play it. Like in our house, it's actually like Mario Kart or whatever. But like, you know, most people will own a fighting game that you can play, and then a sports game, but that's it. But
you played any sports games there?
Like a few on the PS1 and stuff. Like I remember, I used to go around to my friend's house and we'd play like Tony Hawk Pro Skater and stuff like that.
Fucking hell, you seen the rumours, by the way?
Oh, about Pro Skater,
new Pro Skater this year,
apparently.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's like I remember doing that, and FIFA and stuff I wasn't really big into. We had a PS2 in my sixth form common room. And I played a few FIFA games with friends there, like if we had downtime between lessons and stuff.
Yeah.
But so the only unless you count racing games as sport games, I do like racing games.
Like to see like Formula 1 shit and like.
Well, like Forza Motorsport.
There you
I
go.
do
It's
like
got sport in the fucking title.
That's like the more sim heavy one.
Yeah.
But I do like a bit of Forza Horizon as well. But that's again more arcadey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I suppose racing games is the closest I come. But yeah, I've played a bit of like MLB The Show and stuff like that. That's quite good. But then baseball's probably like the only sport I'd say I'd like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like in real life, I mean.
Yeah. It's a bit of sport. Mike might watch a sports podcast sometimes or listens to them.
I mainly listen to rugby podcasts, but there isn't any sport at the moment because of coronavirus.
Well, there's boxing. That's still going on, mate.
Is there really?
Yeah, that's the only sport I watch. I watch it religiously.
Is it closed-door events they're doing?
Yeah, well,
so it's just the fighters.
I think there's fight on in Mexico, which is fully going on. Like the wall is stopping all the Americans giving them the coronavirus, so they're all okay. But yeah, I think there's an Alvarez fight on which is fully crowded. Like, but yeah, there's Yeah.
I saw there was like a football match being played in a closed stadium.
Did you see the WWE? Like, WWE, they did on Monday. It was like Monday Night Raw or whatever the fuck it's called. Or SmackDown. I don't know. There was one event, and it was completely live. No audience. And to be fair, like I feel like a lot of respect for those wrestlers because the whole thing is about playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
Doing that with no crowd.
Yeah.
It could.
Did they do any of the talking and stuff?
Yeah, they would like try and shit. Yeah,
Why?
Because they're putting on a show for the people watching it, right? Because people are watching it online. But yeah, that's the only sport I watch. I don't watch UFC or nothing like that. I just watch boxing. I'm a pugilist, and I like the art of boxing. And UFC, I watch it every now and then. Like I watch the big matches, but I'm like a very casual. Like I'm like the UFC equivalent of the dude that buys Assassin's Creed every year. Do you know what I mean? If Conor McGregor's on. Yeah.
You'll watch the big ones.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, yeah, the same boxing fans that I often berate when they fucking crawl out of the woodwork to talk about Anthony Joshua, that is me for UFC. But, yeah, boxing, I'm into it, man. Big time.
Thanks for the email, Sam. That was a good question. I think it's not anything we talk about, really, is it?
What?
Like, we're just sports stuff. And, well, particularly sports games, considering how much we talk about games.
Yeah.
Well, do you know
We
what?
probably
Yeah.
never talk, even, privately, I mean. We
don't.
never talk about
Well, yeah, and the sports
games.
that we like in real life don't ever align anyway.
No.
So I make an effort, yeah, but Mike, it falls on deaf ears because I can see where you're coming from. I pretend to give a shit about rugby. You already know that I'm only pretending to give a shit, so you don't even sort of fucking pretend that I care. Do you know what I mean? So
but you're saying that, but your questions are usually, what about that rugby kind of thing? You know that a rugby has happened.
Do any of the Def Jam games count as sport games?
Right, we need to move on.
I played a few of them.
We need to move on.
Yeah, remember that like Def Jam fight from New York and stuff like that.
Well, this is one thing about sports games I just mentioned then that, like, it's a good thing to put on casually. Fighting games is something that we never really talk about.
No, we don't.
And that is like sports games where there's a massive audience for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I think, especially when we first started, quite a few people were saying about our name is, like, based off fighting game terminology.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I guess it's not really, but it's commonly used in, I've been watching the Extra Life Nioh 2 videos, yeah? And Jeff is saying special moves every 2 seconds. And I'm like, see, it's... But it's like the fighting game scene, apart from Smash or whatever, is something I don't think we've ever spoke about on here, or, like, we're not really that into it, to be honest. But, like, there was that big event recently. Was it Evo? Where that Fox lad won.
Oh yeah, Sonic Fox.
Sonic Fox beat a tournament recently.
Yeah, in its
That's
first
me
season.
attempting to talk about it. Do you know what I mean?
That's kind of what you sound like when you talk about rugby as well. Do you know what I mean? I do appreciate it.
I know
nice.
that, like, because Sonic Fox, everyone knows him because he's a furry. So you don't need to know anything about anything to say that man is dressed as a fox. He's wearing a mascot outfit, but he's shit hot at fighting games. Is it Street Fighter?
I think plays a lot of them. I think.
So this is what I'm on about. You don't want this, do you? You don't want this. Me talking about this shit.
Sam, keep your emails to yourself.
Fucking hell.
I do. That said, I do really love Tekken.
Yeah, no, you actually do. I remember.
I'm big into Tekken, but I don't watch any of the tournaments for it or anything. I just love playing it.
There's like a lore to it all now. Do you know what I mean?
I've platinumed the last 2 Tekken games.
Yeah, I remember you
Tekken
getting
6
Tekken
and
7.
Yeah, I platinumed it.
Fucking hell.
I just
That's the
love
thing, is that
Tekken.
we all like different fighting games as well, because you like Tekken and stuff. I'm more like Mortal Kombat. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I just like Mortal Kombat.
I like Street Fighter. So,
Exactly. So it's completely, massively incompatible with. Right. So let's do one more email. So remember last week we were talking about Enter the Gungeon a little bit. We were talking about button mapping.
I installed that, by the way, on Steam, just so
cool.
everybody knows. Yeah.
Well, we've had an email kind of follow up from Ollie, who says, "Dear Special Moves, quick one. Enter the Gungeon does have control binding on the Switch. I too had an issue with the controls. Madness that the important buttons weren't bound to the shoulders by default. But 5 minutes of tinkering and you're good to go."
Yeah, it was patched in. I googled this because I saw a comment, and I think it might have been the same guy.
Right.
I think it might have been Ollie. Somebody commented on the podcast, and I've replied to them just to let them know. But yeah, so I'll give it a go. The system is what I don't like, though. Like I said, the 8 directional. Not that I'm making excuses, Ollie. Don't worry. I plan to amend this by playing it. But yeah,
he just says, "Keep up the good work. Still a staple in my weekly podcast diet. All the best, Ollie." That's
nice one, man.
Thank you.
Nice email.
Podcast diet. I've never heard that.
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Quite like that staple.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Let's do the new games, new releases for the coming week.
Awesome.
I've been waiting to hear this.
Well, first off, Liam's going to be absolutely fucking bouncing to know that MLB The Show 20 is out on March the 17th.
I will not play it. I've only played it.
I thought there
was going to say until.
I thought there was a but coming there. I'm not going to play it.
I've only ever played it at a friend's house.
Yeah. So, well, it's. I haven't heard many good things about MLB.
My brother-in-law likes MLB games.
Yeah.
But he likes all the sports games, so.
Yeah. Mike, you try for your sins to enjoy rugby games, but
we did talk about Rugby 20 recently. I still got it installed though. I had a big old fucking purge of the PlayStation recently.
Yeah.
I had loads of stuff on there. I had like The Witcher 3 on there and stuff, and things that were just taking up massive.
Yeah.
Battlefield 5 I wasn't really playing.
I did that with my PC the other day.
It needs to be done because it's difficult to decide what to play a lot of the time. I think when there's so many games on there, so I just cleared loads of stuff out. And Rugby 20 fucking made the cut, man. Rugby 20's in. Rugby 20 is still on there.
Oh my God.
But it is like 4 gigabytes or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fulfilling a niche there, I guess.
I thought the big rumor was that on the PlayStation 5 launch title, MLB is going to be one of them. But
that's interesting because
if this is out, what's this out on? Is it some sort of port? Or
PS4. So I don't know. But
I know it's Sony make them. I think so that's why they're only on PS4 or just PlayStation.
By the way, just quick. I know we're going through the games. I just want to say this, and we can just go like, oh yeah. See that the big thing talking about the PS5 and that's going to be delayed because the virus, because of all the events it could, and there is a genuine
production.
It's something to do with RAM in China.
Right.
So there's that mixed with the fact that
there's a shortage on parts.
And the big marketing events, proper consumer shows, and GDC sort of where all the hotel lobby business deals go on, has all been cancelled. So it could actually mean we don't get the new gen this year. And for PC gamers who are wondering why they should give a shit, your RAM.
Well, yeah, your new graphics card.
Stick that in your RAM. Okay, we'll do a couple more games on March the 20th, so that's the Friday. You got Animal Crossing New Horizons on Nintendo Switch. Are you guys getting this?
Yeah, I'm not, no.
I pre-ordered it today. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. Remember how excited I was about a year ago? It was like Yoshi's Woolly World again. Then I didn't care. Then I cared a bit. Then I didn't care. Half of this is because it's just been all over my Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't care about the Isabelle and Doom guy memes. Fuck off. Then I played it and I was like, it makes sense. Then I thought, I'll just wait and see. I'll wait and see. But today I thought, look.
You caved.
It's a knock, innit, man? I got to do it. Now, do you know what it is, as well? Like, I feel like with all the things, this is such a bad thing. It's a game. It's a corporate product. So why the fuck do I feel like this? I've lost the battle. But I feel like, at the moment, all the events that I'm going to and shit, they're all been cancelled. And there's a lot of just all this stuff going on in the world. I'm playing Nioh 2. I'm playing all this, like, masochistic, angry...
Massacre.
I'm in a massa. You know what I mean? So I am massa to the core. And at the moment, I want to play something nice. So I can't talk about it, but I've been playing Persona 5 Royale a lot. And I just thought, I want to play something a little bit Stardew Valley-ish. Like, Jake, why don't you play Stardew Valley? Well, shut up, all right? I'm going to play it.
Punk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I want to get with the newness. So I just figured, like, with everything going on at the moment, it'll be a nice game to play and just relax and shit. So I got it.
Well,
and
in stark contrast is Doom. Mm-hmm. Well, two Dooms. Doom 64.
Oh yeah.
That's a little remaster.
It's coming on the same day as Animal Crossing, so that's March the 20th. That's on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4 and Xbox One. And Doom Eternal, which is the actual new thing.
Yes.
Which is coming on PC, PS4, Xbox One and Switch as well.
Mm-hmm. I didn't...
No, is it coming on Switch? Stadia.
Stadia. I think it is coming to Switch at a later date, like the original Doom.
It's not on Switch this week. Stadia this week.
Yeah, it is Stadia.
Yeah.
I played it. I liked it more than I liked the first one.
Yeah.
But I played the first one on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And I played this one at a consumer event on like a £2,000 PC.
Yeah.
Fully, headphones on.
Yeah.
And it was like...
Lots of bright blue and reds. greens.
RGB everywhere.
And yeah, like it was like a 30-minute demo, and to let you know at the time you were playing it in some sort of like hellish cage with razor wire all around it, more money than sense, Bethesda. And then when the demo ran out, a giant air raid siren in real life went woo, because this was at EGX, and all event I kept hearing a siren, and I thought it was like some esports bollocks. I was like, what the fuck is making that noise every half an hour? It was the Doom fucking thing. But yeah, I played it. It was like, I know that you guys are kind of into Doom, but I really wasn't into this other one, and this was like, I felt a bit sick playing it,
Yeah, it's fast.
I don't feel like that. I don't get motion sickness or anything. Even in VR, I've had quite a strong stomach, but I felt a bit sick playing it.
I played Doom 20, what was it, 16?
16, yeah.
Played that on PS4. I think I'm going to get this on PS4 as well. Even though I do like to play, when something is that snappy and quick, I do like to play it on PC if I can. Yeah. But I'm going to play it on PS4, I think, because it's just more of it's such a fucking put your brain off game. I'm really in the market for shooting the fuck out of stuff.
And not
with
thinking.
Very minimal story and not thinking about it and just going, wow, this is good. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Playing games at the moment, so this is very well timed for me.
Yeah.
So I think I will get it on PS4. I really enjoyed the 2016.
I did as well.
You're not alone, guys, right? It went down really well.
Yeah, it did go down really well. I'm gonna get Doom Eternal. I'll probably get it on PC. Just because, I wasn't really excited for this new one.
No, I'm not really. But...
And up until they dropped a launch trailer a few days ago, and I saw that. And then that led me down a rabbit hole on YouTube of all this promotional material.
There's fucking loads of promotional material.
Marketing blitz.
On the way here, driving through Towin, that means nothing to you guys, doesn't matter. Right, there was 2 fucking bus stop adverts.
Doom Eternal.
So just so you know, we live in the arse end of nowhere in Towin. It's like a holiday town where people that want to go on a caravan holiday go to, right? It's not even holiday season, but for some reason Bethesda are putting up fucking
Doom posters,
signs. And I guess all the money that they save from not going to events.
That's true. Yeah, they've got to put that money somewhere else now as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because the department will have that money, and they're going to have to spend it.
I know the department, and it was because they were putting on an event in London, a heavy metal concert with some of the bands from the soundtrack, and it was going to be a Doom Eternal night, and that was cancelled. But I'm imagining that was probably a 30 grand spend. Get a couple of bus stops instead, innit, boys?
Yeah.
Well, do you know what's exciting? Last week, Nioh 2 was in the new game section. We didn't foresee COD Warzone, and now we're covering it. We've got some videos coming up, and we just mentioned the podcast. It's cool to think that in the next podcast we're going to have Doom and Animal Crossing to talk about.
Yeah.
Now we're moving, and it's before we know it, Final Fantasy Resident Evil.
That's assuming we are allowed to leave our own homes.
In which case, you'll get them over Skype.
Yeah.
The next podcast will be done over Skype.
Yeah. Just be Mike in his room, he'll have a laptop there. Put me by the salt lamp.
I'll definitely set the lights up and that, just as normal. But I'll maybe even work some kind of mannequin kind of situation, just get some screens for heads.
Strap
That'll work.
an iPad to it.
Yeah. So look forward to that next week. If you want to send us an email, it's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. If you're a patron, you're supporting us on Patreon, we've got a bonus podcast which we're going to record very shortly after we've had a little bit of lunch, a cup of tea, something, do you know what I mean? Bit of a refresh, innit, before doing another podcast. But we've got a bonus podcast on the way for you patrons, and a couple of other videos like Jake mentioned about the games that we've talked about in this podcast, Nioh and, what was the other one? Warzone.
See you next
week. Which I keep forgetting.
Fucking
Goodbye.
Doom and Animal Crossing. Fucking see you later.